What's up, y'all? It's Doug with Over the Bridge Outreach, and it is week number 10, and I cannot believe it has been already 2.5 months since this outreach has been created. If you're not familiar with Over the Bridge Outreach, this mission actually started as a fluke. Back in early July, I had my birthday, and for a birthday present, my kids decided to give me individual bags of goodies like Fig Newtons and granola bars and a sippy drink and cheese and crackers, because they knew that when I come across somebody on the street, I always want to give them something. About 2 weeks after my birthday, Maggie came up to me. He said, "How many bags have you given out?" And I said, I haven't given out any bags. But you know what? I haven't put myself in the situation to give out bags. So I said, how about this? I'll go over the bridge into Schenectady and drive around until I can give out a couple bags. So the first week I went over there, I brought 3 bags. I didn't know what to say. I mean, how do you approach somebody on the street? Do I roll up to somebody and say, "Excuse me, would you like a bag of these goodies?" You can't just look at their appearance and say, "Hey, I think you need this bag." So I learned on saying, "Excuse me, do you know of anybody that could benefit from the food that's in this bag? If you do, please take 1 or 2, and then how many water bottles would you like?" Sure enough, got rid of 3 bags, no problem. The next week I went out, I drove around the same block and came across the church, and I gave bags to them because they knew families that were local that could use them. So after the 3rd week of me going over the bridge, I had different interactions and different people that I met, and I was like, you know what, I want to do this more. Then the week 4 and week 5, I started bringing out 10 bags, then 15 bags. I'm only doing it because God put it in my heart to give back, and to see the smile on these kids' faces when they would receive a bag, or somebody that would drink a bottle of water right down to the last bit because they had no water to drink. Just a simple, kind gesture goes so far with other people that don't have anything or have very little. What I'm trying to do is just bring awareness and really look at your life and how blessed you have it to see, hear, think for yourself. You know, those little things that we take for granted every day. Life gets overwhelming. We get riddled with anxiety, fear, doubt, depression. Everybody battles with stuff. I mean, I'm a positive guy, but yet I got flaws. You know, even though I'm a Christian doesn't mean I'm perfect, because none of us are perfect. But just because you have a bumper sticker on your car and you wear a cross around your neck does not make you a Christian. How can anybody get to know who God is when people that call themselves Christians are out there judging somebody else? It doesn't matter what denomination you are. It doesn't matter if you're a Baptist, Lutheran, Methodist. It doesn't matter if you're black, blue, brown, yellow. It doesn't matter if you're straight, gay, transgendered. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. You are loved. You are a child of God. You are special. You have a gift. You have a purpose. But you don't need to be a Christian to love. You don't need to be a Christian to give to other people, to take time for somebody else. I was that person that people gave up on, and all I'm trying to do is give back. So my neighbor Rick dropped off these 2 huge boxes of bagels, pastries, cakes. I mean, like gorgeous looking cakes. And I'm like, okay, well, I know how to give out bags. How do you give out pastries? How do you give out cakes? How do you do that? And sure enough, I came across the 4-generational family of 16. And they took everything. And I was like, wow, that was so cool. So this week before church, I wanted to go meet this pastry guy myself because I didn't want to just give out food that wasn't from a reputable store. So I found out the stuff comes from Price Chopper, and the reason why he gets it is because the sell-by date. So the food is still good. So what happened this week, he comes out with this huge box of rolls, beautiful rolls, maybe like 7 dozen of them in this huge box, drops it on my wheelchair. He says, hold on one second. He comes out, this economy size garbage bag, those big industrial garbage bags. And there was at least 50 bagels in there. I mean, cinnamon raisin, sesame, everything bagels, and he puts them on my back seat. So then he comes out with even a bigger bag of donuts and pastries. I mean, there was jelly in there, Boston cream, pumpkin, cheese danishes, all thrown into a bag. And I looked at him, I'm like, sir, I really appreciate you giving these to me, but they're not wrapped up. I go, maybe if they were in boxes or containers. He's like, oh, I got boxes. He comes out with these cardboard boxes. He takes the big, huge bag and drops it in the cardboard box. And I'm like, sir, Not exactly what I was talking about, but thank you very much. He puts it in my van. Then he gave me more pastries and cupcakes, and my van was a bakery. So now I have all of my bags in my passenger seat. I have a box of rolls on my wheelchair. Behind my driver's seat, I had this huge box of donuts and pastries. Then on my back seat, I had this huge bag of bagels. So I'm like, okay, now what in the world am I supposed to do? And how am I supposed to go to church? But what was cool is that my church has given me this headset so when it's raining outside or when I'm not feeling well or if there's snow or if it's, icy, I'm able to still pull up into the parking lot and get the message without even leaving my van. So after service, off I went into Mount Pleasant to the family of 16 and I pulled up to the house. Nobody was out there. So I sat there for a second. I saw a bunch of kids playing up the block. And then I saw one of the granddaughters. Her grandmother came down and she's the matriarch of the family. And she's like, what you got today? I told her the menu of her pickings of what she has. And she says, I want all of it. And I'm like, I go, what are you going to do with all of it? And she's like, Linda over here is going to need some. Them over there is going to need some. And I know that. I'll take it all and I'll start divvying it all up and I'll hand them all out to the neighbors. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to her and I'm like, really? And I said, well, there's a lot of smushed donuts in there at the bottom. I go, are you sure? And she looked at me and she's like, smushed donuts go to the same place, don't they? And I was like, wow, I love this lady. Yeah, absolutely. Who cares if they're smushed just a little bit? And so the grandkids were going through the bagels and the donuts there. We're going to bring them inside so they can separate them so that they can give them out to the neighbors. And I thought that was so awesome that people that are struggling are looking out for other people that are struggling. They care for other people. They care for the people on the block. I don't know the people on the block, but they do. So what they were doing is they were taking all of the bagels, all of the donuts, all of the rolls, all of everything that I had to separate them so that they could feed the neighbors on the block. Here's the best part about this week's interaction. The one granddaughter took all of the 15 bags that I had in the box. She was passing out the bags to the kids up the block. There was a homeless man that passed by on a bike. She handed him a bag. And then somebody else was walking down the street and she gave him a bag. And now I'm watching somebody that I'm helping help somebody else. And it was amazing to witness. So after I was watching the granddaughter passing out the bags, I immediately thought of that scripture verse in the English Standard Version Bible, Philippians 2:4. Let each of you look not only into your own interests, but also into the interests of others. And we get caught up with our everyday lives, our kids, work, bills, family things that are going on. We barely have enough time to deal with our own lives. It's easy to forget about the people that are down the street. It's easy to forget about a family member that might need help. It's easy to forget about somebody else because we're so caught up in our everyday life, we don't think about other people. The best way to help yourself through a problem is by helping somebody else with their problem. To take time to just be there for somebody else, even if you don't know that person. Maybe that kind word is going to give them the hope. Maybe that kind word will stop them from going into a place and doing a shooting or hurting themselves. And I think that if there's other people out there that I can either give hope to or maybe to inspire, because if you allow your fear, your insecurities, your doubt, your worries, your anxieties, your overwhelmingness, your thoughts, this needs to quiet for this to come out. Be good to others. Don't you dare give up on yourself. Don't you dare give up on your dream. You can do anything if you put your mind to it and your heart to it. You're special. You have a gift. You have a purpose and a destiny. But the most important thing that you need to know, the most important thing you need to do is you got to love yourself before you can love others. Because how can you give what you don't have? God bless y'all, and I'll see you soon.